Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Issues of the Mind. And today we'll be looking at generational verbal abuse. Now, generational verbal abuse doesn't just stay as verbal abuse, it echoes through generation. That means that parents pass it down through their children, and children will pass it down to children, and it goes on and on. For example, you would have seen situations where probably your parents raised you by saying, see your mates, see your life, see your colleagues, and you have set within yourself that you never say that to your children. You raise them better. And then when you started having your children, you started saying the same thing to them. Or your parents were those that would shout at you over time. Sit down there, go out, what is wrong with you? And you said in your heart that you will never shout at your children. You raise them right. And growing up, having your children, now realize that you're doing the same thing. It is called generational verbal abuse. It doesn't stay as hot. It echoes through generation. Things have been said over time to you, and you pass down to children and children's children. You've wondered about how some parents would curse the children, say harsh things to them, and when the children to have children, they pass on the same curse, say harsh words to them, and it goes on and on. So you have a good idea of what generational verbal abuse means. Probably it's body shaming. It comes in different forms and different ways. But today, I'd like to explain what that is, how it shows up, and how it can be solved. And these are salient issues within the family system that requires our attention and to fix, and how that it affects the mind. So, is the transmission of hurtful, demeaning, or emotionally damaging language patterns across generations within a family. It includes consistent use of words and belittle, intimidate, or emotionally harm rather than build up. You may have experienced this before, and you're thinking, when I have my children, I won't say that to them. Don't just wish it as a thought. Don't just set it in your heart. Be deliberate about breaking that cycle, because these things are genetic. It stores in your mind, it stores in your heart. And then by the next generation, it then shows up. And that is what we'll be looking at today. There are common forms of them. There's name calling people terrible nicknames, and then also saying something like, you're not useful, you're not good, you're useless and stuff that parents may say to children or adults. It may even stem from family environment where you were raised. Of course, shaming, guilt-tripping people, and humiliating people to control their behavior. Like I said earlier, constant criticism. When as a child you tried all your life to please your parents, but your parents would always criticize all that you have done. I said it, and it brings a lot of hurt to you. I said to yourself, I'll never do this to my children. Comparison. Why can't you be like your brother? Why can't you be like your children? That thing where they will say that the person that got first position in your school, do they have two heads? Why can't you also get first position? Why can't you also be like a comparison? There's also mockery and sarcasm, using jokes or insults disguised as humor. Sometimes people say, but I'm just joking. You don't joke with awful things. You don't joke with insults. Joke with good stuffs and better things. That thing that happens and you use joke as insult. I'm sure you can relate now. And also emotional manipulation after all I've done for you. So it's how you repay me and all. We need to come to a clearer understanding, of how these things work and what to do to break it out. Now, how do they become the generational causes? Children would naturally internalize what's spoken to them. So it will somehow sit in the cervix of their mind. And then as adults, we unconsciously repeat this pattern with our own children. Like I said earlier, I'm still reading from my notes. The same emotional wounds and communication styles continue even if the intention wasn't to harm. Now, 3 stages. The children would internalize it. They'll feel hurt. Mommy said this about me. Daddy said this about me. They'll feel bad. And then from as I'm adult, unconsciously to just well up, to just come up. Remember that a damaged child becomes a broken adult. I could say the other way around too. A broken child becomes a damaged adult. It becomes a cycle. And of course, you feel, well, it's not totally harmful. It's just words. Even if the intention was not said to harm, the words are harmful. So you should be able to pick the difference between both. Now, effects on individuals and families. And this is what I really need us to pay attention to. It stems about low self-esteem or low self-worth. You need to say the people that got first, the people that became that got best, that you're not like them. For example, a child has been told that the child in your class, your mates that are getting first positions, getting all the gifts, that thing where prize giving day in school, when a child claims almost 80% of all the prize, and the parents go, is that not your mates? Does he have 2 heads? Can't you read like them and all? It brings it about low self-esteem and low self-worth. And how do I say, those kind of people are the people that know book. Me, I don't know anything. I'm just there. And it really affects how they begin to relate to life. They begin to see themselves as second fiddle in the issues of life. And of course, it brings anxiety and depression. When time comes to bring home results, even as an adult to write the exams, they become anxious. And then when they now see that the result is not good, it leads to depression. Of course, difficulty expressing emotions in healthy ways. So those kind of children becomes adults that do not know how to express emotions in healthy ways, because they were not raised to express emotions in healthy ways as children. If you as a parent do not feed your child or your children with the right emotional influence, when they grow older, they won't know how to give it. They can't give what they don't have. And of course, strained relationships between parents and children, that is what it leads to. So your children are not comfortable speaking to you, sharing with you, relating with you. Your relationships become strained. And both ways. And of course, they get to the point where they are emotionless. That part is called emotional numbness. They are numb and they are prone to anger. Little things get them angry. So these are effects that it has on individuals and families. Now, to break in the cycle, why we're having this conversation. We're not having our conversations on this podcast because we want to talk about this thing, but because there are solutions to it. You can break out of them. You can become better. So breaking the cycle, awareness. Recognize that you have this issue. One major challenge that a lot of people have from recovery or from healing is not even is not even accepting or discovering or realizing that they have a problem. The first part to healing at every level, in every way, is to first realize that I have a problem, I need to heal. And to also recognize the family speech abuse patterns in your family. So this thing exists in my family. So now that I'm having my children, I don't want it to happen again. Now seek therapy, seek help. Seek counsel. Don't keep to yourself. Seek counsel. Today, you can access therapy through your mobile devices. You can link up with a therapist online and share what you need. Even if you want pro bono, you can get it. Now, be intentional. Choose the words that you would say. I'll give you a tip. Before you say a word, say it in your mind and rehearse it in your mind before you say it out. Now, choose your words carefully. Learn about words. Learn about how to use words and be very intentional. The next part is now acknowledge past harms and begin healing relationships. the person that has said those stuff to you may have even forgotten they've said it. Most times you hear they didn't say it, but you need to choose to heal. And they said that you are going to heal from it and then move on. Healing is your choice. So choose that you need to heal. And one of the ways you choose that you need to heal is to deliberately forgive them. Because sometimes your parents didn't know any better. Probably their parents raised them that way. Probably the parents of your parents were raised that way. Probably the parents of your parents of your parents were raised that way. So we will not push blame, but we'll focus on healing. So that at the end of the day, they have an outstanding result for you and you achieve your goal of healing. Now, of course, if they get to apologize to you, that's okay. And if not, choose to heal and embrace restoration. Now, teaching new patterns, modeling empathy, kindness, and respect every day. You now become a model for it. You deliberately model it to your children. Correct them. Even if you bring family and friends around, you tell them, in our house, this is what we say and what we don't say. You set the rules and set the boundaries of the kinds of language that is said in the house to your children, because you are being deliberate to raise them right, and you are being deliberate to break the generational abusive pattern. And of course, faith and forgiveness. For some, prayer and scriptural grounding in love can work. Pray about it, embrace faith, but then don't keep to yourself. Embrace healing. Now, let your words be kind and seasoned with grace. Let your word be kind and seasoned with grace all the time. And it's something you can build. Now you can see how you can heal from how you were raised and to become a better person, and your children will be raised better. And of course, guide conversations from relatives to your children. Now, generational verbal abuse goes a long way. It breaks and mars families. So as a family person, even if you already have your children, you can embrace a new pattern of how you communicate with respect, with dignity, what you say and what you don't say, so that your children's children can have it better. Till we come your way again, remember, there is no health without mental health. Stay with us on Issues of the Mind.